Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Wednesday, February 24th, 2016, around 8:09 in the evening in Billerica, Massachusetts. Raining like cats and dogs in Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Connecticut. Some areas of Connecticut are under a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado watch because of the heavy-duty rain. Temperatures are going to shoot up to the 60s, which is amazing. This weather's been up and down this month, but no significant snow. Maybe just those two storms within 4 days. Probably the most snowy period of the year, and looks like for the first week of March, warmer than average temperatures, but there's still time for a surprise blizzard or so. We're not out of the woods yet. Some news to report. John Schuerholz and Andruw Jones are going into the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame, so congratulations to them. Texas Rangers outfielder Josh Hamilton's going to miss the first month of the season due to knee troubles. And 45% of Americans in the United States in 2015 did not pay any federal income taxes. And former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney wants Donald Trump to release his tax returns from the last 10 years. Romney thinks Donald Trump's a tax cheat. We'll wait and see about that. And that's about it on news. My third and final video blog subject of the night is about pro wrestling newsletters, also called the dirt sheets. Pro wrestling newsletters have been around since the early 1980s, and over the years, most of these wrestling newsletters, before the internet, these were where you got a lot of pro wrestling rumors. The first major one started in 1983. It was called the Pro Wrestling Observer, written by Dave Meltzer. He's based out of California, and he's a big wrestling fan. And he's been doing the Wrestling Observer since 1983. Another big one is out of Minnesota. It's called the Pro Wrestling Torch. It's run by Wade Keller. He's been doing that since 1987. Those are the two major ones that are still in existence today. And there's been other ones over the years. The most other ones that were kind of popular were Mat Watch, which was the late 80s, early 90s. It was written by Steve Beverly, who's from like Tennessee. Steve Beverly actually became a game show historian for many years. He actually had his game show convention website, which was pretty interesting. He was involved in the pro wrestling newsletters or dirt sheets for a while. The dirt sheets, which the wrestlers would call them, usually reported backstage news in the world of professional wrestling from all major promotions like WWE, WCW, ECW, showed results of upcoming shows which were taped far in advance. There were injury reports, contracts about wrestlers who were unhappy, gimmick changes or gimmicks, wrestlers going back and forth from company to company. They also covered Japan and Mexico and independent scenes, including all the regional territories. Plus, they would have some pro-police action, which could be any odd news stories, which was interesting. And of course, some of these newsletters actually told the wrestlers' real names. And usually Dave Meltzer or Wade Keller or like Steve Beverly or the other ones for the other smaller newsletters would probably get the information from to put in their newsletters newsletters from people who work in the offices from the WWE, WCW, and others. And wrestlers usually did not want to read the newsletters because they could get a lot of, very criticized. And they got real popular up until the mid-90s when you could get wrestling rumors on the internet when that exploded. But the Wrestling Observer and the Pro Wrestling Torch are still going strong today. They have websites. Dave Meltzer has his own show called the Wrestling Observer Extra. Wade Keller has some podcast, and they actually make money off of this, big time money. I think Dave Meltzer and Wade Keller makes over 6 figures a year from doing pro wrestling newsletters, and sheets are real informative about stuff. Some of the stuff in the sheets don't come true, and some of the stuff in the pro wrestling newsletters are outrageously. And with the pro wrestling newsletters getting real popular, there's a podcast out there called Between the Sheets, which is on like the Place to Be Nation podcast network and Pro Wrestling Only podcast hosted by Chris Zelgner, and every Monday they have a new episode of Between the Sheets. They go for Pacific Week in pro wrestling history. Mainly they've been doing the 80s and the 90s. I think the most recent year they did was 1998 to cover certain weeks. Usually they do, they alternate. Maybe 1 week WWE starts first and the end WCW, then it's reversed, and the other order is all Japan, Mexico, potpourri, or like regional territories, and ECW. And Chris Zelgner is so entertaining on the Between the Sheets podcast. Some of the stuff he reports kind of laughs if that's going to happen or not. Some of the stuff happened, some of it didn't, but it's a real entertaining thing. And the pro wrestling newsletters were real informative to get. I like reading them, but I haven't read them in years. I don't subscribe to Pro Wrestling Torch at all anymore. And that's about it on pro wrestling newsletters. I'll be back tomorrow with 3 more video blogs: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and Google+. First video blog today will be about tomorrow will be the top 10 common reasons for people getting rejected on dates. Second video blog will be about, is too much TV news good news, because of more and more television stations adding extra newscast. I'll tell you about that. And the third and final video blog of the night for tomorrow will be about MBTA commuter rail route from Boston South Station to Forge Park, 495. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Brennan guy. Molly Rosenblatt of WCCO rocks and has nice legs. Elizabeth Hutt, so stunning. She's the best. Amy Swensey's awesome. And in the words of Vince McMahon, you got no chance in hell. Don't forget Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. Only 27 more days into my next Ask Rich video blog, so start sending in those questions, because I would love to have many questions, and hopefully the Ask Rich video blog could be a monthly occurrence. And shout outs, plugs, and other stuff. Private message me. Good night. See you tomorrow.